So I'm Asya, and our class today will be about breathing at the edge. So we're going to go into some poses and just taking it to the edge of sensation and just explore what happens there. We'll need a couple of props. If you have a yoga block, that works. You can also use just like your couch pillow. I'm using mine today. And then a yoga belt, if you have one, or just your bathrobe sash or whatever you have there. So we'll start lying back today. And you can lie flat on your back. You can use a blanket under your head if you need to. I'll go back to my mat and then I'll teach from there so you can both hear and see what I'm doing. So we'll start lying back. We'll just take a moment here to get ourselves settled. Take a moment right now to feel how your body comes in contact with the ground. And as you exhale, allow your body to sink into the floor. Now begin to notice your breathing. And notice how your body moves with the breath. And then just take a moment to check in with yourself. So maybe you've just gotten up, maybe you've been up for a couple of hours already. Just taking a moment to check in. How am I feeling this morning? What's happening for me right now? Just noticing, allowing any sensations, feelings, just anything that's kind of been in the background this morning for you, just allowing it to come into your full awareness. Just whatever it is, without judgment, without trying to explain it, just noticing. Continuing to notice your breathing. And just whatever it is that's going on for you this morning, feel like you can connect it to your breath. As you're inhaling and exhaling, just breathing through it. Right now, let's wake up the body. Just start moving the fingers and toes, and then go ahead and bend your knees. Draw the knees in a little bit closer to the top of the knees. So we'll just start with some really easy warm-ups. Drawing the knees in towards the chest, and then still keeping the palms in contact, moving the knees out a little bit. Just going back and forth. And using this movement to continue connecting to the breath. And just do whatever else is happening for you in this moment. Noticing sensations in the body, perhaps. So notice how it feels when you're rolling your hips. So when you roll the hips away from you, when you roll the hips towards you, notice what you're feeling. Notice how maybe the floor feels a little bit hard against your sacrum. Just notice sensations there. What do you feel on the left side? What do you feel on the right side? And then with your next exhale, bring both knees in towards your chest. And we're going to just curl up into a little ball. Just lift your head, bring the knees towards the forehead forehead towards the knees, just curling up for a moment. And then release. Let's keep the right knee in, and then we're just going to stretch the left leg out. Lengthening through the left heel, holding the right knee in, and then creating a little resistance by pressing the knee into your hands. Taking a couple of breaths here. And so just notice, again, notice what's happening in the body. So maybe you're really aware of your left leg. Maybe your right groin is talking to you. Just notice what's there, what's happening. And then bring your left knee in, holding around your knee. Go ahead and stretch out through your right leg. Reaching through that heel, finding length through the right side as you draw the left knee in. Again, notice what's happening on this side. Couple more breaths. Now release. We're going to take both legs down and we'll bring the arms overhead. So whatever works for your shoulders, maybe your arms go out to the sides, maybe they go more overhead, just whatever works for you. Reaching through the arms and through the legs. So take a moment to come to a place that feels a little bit like an edge. So like you start stretching and then something starts happening. So there's a little bit of sensation and then it kind of feels like this is just a good amount of sensation. You don't want to do less, you don't want to do more. So just find that place which you can think of like an edge. Just an edge that you can hold and you can breathe there. So it's not too intense, but there's something happening. So just noticing where that edge is for you here. So maybe it's in the shoulder, maybe it's more in the legs. So notice where you're feeling that. And then exhale, bring the arms down. And bend your knees. Let's now use our straps, whatever you have there. And if you don't have a strap, you can just use your arms around your leg. That will work too. So I'm going to bring the belt around my foot, and I like to place the belt just where the heel meets the arch, between the heel and the arch. And then I'm taking my leg up towards the ceiling. So your leg may be vertical, maybe a little more angle. Just notice what works for you here. And then go ahead and straighten your left leg out on the floor. So reaching through the left heel, pressing the right foot up. So here, take a moment to connect your breathing. Notice where your breath is going right now. And then as you exhale, continue to reach out through your right leg. And so here, again, find a place that feels like an edge. So it's not too much, not too little. Just find a place where you can hold your stretch, where you can hold your pose. Breathing there. Breathing into that stretch. And as you stay there and breathe, just notice what's happening for you. What does your mind tend to do? Does the mind like to escape? Do you start thinking about something? Notice what happens if you just stay with sensation. So notice what arises. You just stay there and breathe. And thoughts do arise, but as your thoughts come, just notice so they're not carrying you away. Right now, let's bend the right knee and change legs. Bring the belt around your left foot. Beginning to take it towards straight. And then you can straighten your other leg out on the floor, reaching through both legs. So just notice. Notice where the edge is on this side. So my left leg tends to be tighter than my right leg. So like here, I'm aware of the edge much sooner than on the other side. So notice what's true for you. And again, just come to a place where you want to stay. Just find a place where you can stay and breathe. Just be with it. So no need to interpret anything, no need to change anything, just being with it. Using your breath to connect you to your sensation. A couple more breaths here. And then let's change legs. So we're going to bring the right leg up and we'll keep the left knee bent. So right leg straight, left knee bent. Let's hold the strap in the right hand, or if you're not using the strap, just support your leg with your hand. And we're going to move the leg out to the right. So not too far out to the side. Angle your leg up more. And then use your other knee to counterbalance. So you're opening the knees out. Notice how the abdominal muscles come into play here to help you maintain that balance. So once you find a place where you want to stay, again, let's connect to the breath and just notice, what does it take here to stay balanced? How we are maintaining this. Breathing. And then come back to center, take your left leg straight. So from here, we're going to switch the hands. So we're going to use the left hand to support the leg, and then we'll turn the hips across. Turning, just turning the hips, and the shoulder can drop back, so you can just allow it to feel heavy. And take a few breaths here. So maybe you're aware of your hip, maybe you're aware of the twist through the spine. Noticing what this feels like, what's happening here. And then inhale, come back. Let's change legs. So we'll start with the left leg straight, right knee bent. Using the left hand. Just staying in the center for a couple of breaths and then taking the leg out. And so again, just balancing the left and right sides. And noticing what's involved here. As you open the hips, staying in the center, continuing to ground from the belly. Inhale, come back. Let your right leg go straight, and then bring that leg across, turning the hips sideways. And then you can reach the arm back behind you, just finding the twist here. Turning, finding the twist through the spine. Breathing into that twist. And then back to center. And let's stretch both legs out. Now bend your knees, roll to your side. And let's come into table pose. So we'll come to all fours. We'll just take a few breaths here to move the spine. So on the exhalation, let your hips move back towards your heels. With the arms reaching forward, just finding length through the spine. And then on the inhale, bring the chest forward, shoulders back. So we'll just do a few of these movements to get our spine to move. Exhaling back. So adding just a little bit of a tuck to the pelvis. So you're rounding as you go back. And then as you come up, let the shoulders roll back and the chest come forward. So just very gentle movement for the spine. And once you figure out where you're going here, again, just connect to the movement from the inside. Connect to the sensations. And just notice what's happening here. And as we go through this simple movement, notice where the edge is. So maybe it's staying tuned into the breath. Maybe it's slowing down. Maybe it's keeping the mind anchored to the breath. And then after your next exhale, just pause here in child's pose, supporting your forehead with your forearms. And as you inhale, roll up. Now let's bring the right foot forward. So you have a couple of options here. You can use blocks if you like. If you're used to using them, you can put your hand on the outside of your arm, or you can put it on the inside. We're going to move the hips here, sliding back and rolling onto the heel, and then coming forward. So we'll just go back and forth a few times. And then let your hips slide back as you roll into your heel. Just take a few breaths here. So I'm anchoring the heel into the floor and I'm just drawing the hip back. And you might just find the edge of sensation here. And so once you find that edge, stay there and breathe. To finding that place where it feels just right. So you don't want to go really far and then feel like you need to back off. Just find a place where you can stay and breathe. And then come back to center where your knees line up over the heel. Tuck the toes under and pick up your back leg. So straightening out your back leg. So just noticing what's happening here. So we have been doing poses mostly where we've been stretching. So the intense part was in the stretch. So now we are working to hold ourselves up in this lunge. So notice what that feels like. How your muscles work to support you. Feel the grounding from the right buttock into the right heel. So that front leg is strong. Make your back leg strong by lifting your thigh up towards the ceiling. Let the weight stay firmly in the legs. So your hands are just supporting you here lightly. And then lower the knee and step back. So let's do this on the other side now. Take your left foot in front. Start by sliding the hips back and forth a few times, rolling into your heel as you draw the hips back, coming forward. And then as you go back again, rolling into the heel, draw that left hip back. So finding the stretch here, staying connected to the breath. Just noticing what's happening on this side. Holding this for a couple more breaths. And then center the knee over the heel, tuck the toes, straightening your back leg. So now finding a place of stability and strength, grounding from the left buttock to the left heel, activating the back leg by lifting the thigh. Finding a steady place. And then noticing, how does that work for you? What's happening in this moment? Where is the edge here? Now lower the knee, step back. And take child's pose. Just taking a moment to release. To allow the floor to support you. And then with your next inhalation, go ahead and roll up and we'll come up to standing. So for our standing pose, you can either use a yoga block, or if you don't have a block, you can use your pillow. I'm going to use my pillow as my support here. So standing up tall with the feet about hip width. Just take a moment to feel how the soles of the feet are rooting into the floor. Feel the center of the heel. Feel the big toe side of the foot and the little toe side of the foot. So each foot is like a little tripod. And then take your hands to your hips and slightly bend your knees, just softening the knees, and then hinge at the hips. So our prop here is going to support our arms. So as you let your hands come down, I want you to lift your heels up. So we're going to balance on our toes. Lifting your heels. Continue going into a forward bend. So just as far as comfortable. And if your hands can easily reach the floor, you don't need your prop. You can put your hands on the floor. Heels stay up. Now begin to slowly release your heels down towards the floor as you continue to lift your sit bones up. So feel like your legs are stretching in two directions. So your heels are slowly moving down towards the floor as your hips are lifting up. So your heels or maybe are barely touching the floor. And even if they are on the floor, I want you to not bring the weight into the heels. So the heels are just slightly resting on the floor. So just staying here and breathing. And so you might be really aware of where the edge is in this pose. Just noticing where is your attention drawn right now. And noticing what's happening in the mind. So maybe your mind is telling you, well, I really want out of this. But just notice that. And if you need to make adjustments, definitely make them. So a couple more breaths here. Now bend your knees. So use your support if you need to. And then pressing through the feet, come back up to standing. Just moving the legs. Notice maybe feeling a little tingling in the feet or in the legs. Now let's step the legs wide apart. Walk your feet out. Turn your legs to the right side. So let your right foot turn all the way out and your left foot turn in, stretching the arms out. So let's connect to our legs again. Grounding through the feet and lifting through the spine, just pressing out like you're trying to stretch your mat out with your feet. Get a little bit taller as you reach up through the crown of the head and then reach over your right hip. Coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So we've been really focusing on our legs this morning. So notice as you come into triangle, what's happening here. And notice, are you kind of hanging back in this pose? Are you really moving strongly towards your edge? Just notice what do you do immediately? What do you do automatically? And then see if you can find that place that just feels like it's the right place to be. Not too much, not too little. Finding that place and just noticing what's happening. Starting from the physical sensations, noticing where do you feel this in your body. Noticing the breath. Noticing what's happening in the mind. Just staying connected to this moment. Now bring your awareness into your feet again and press through the feet. Exhale, feel the belly draw in, and inhale, come up, turn the feet forward, turn legs to the other side. Let your left foot turn out, right foot turn in, stretching the arms out. So we're going to take this to the other side now. Rooting down through the feet, lifting up through the spine. Keep lengthening over your hip as you take triangle to the other side. So two sides, two different poses, right? Notice what's happening on this side. So there's no particular place you need to be at, except for the place that you're at already, right? Just be where you are. Breathe. Connect. Continue grounding and lengthening. And just noticing, where is the edge here? Maybe it's in the right leg, or maybe it's in the left hip. Or maybe it's more, maybe the challenge is more in the mind. Noticing what changes as you stay here and breathe. Continuing to ground and lengthen. And then pressing through the feet, exhale, feel the belly draw in, inhale, come up, turn the feet forward. Now we'll come forward from the hips and we'll use our prop again. Bringing the hands down, drawing the spine forward. So modify this as needed. So maybe bending the knees, maybe putting your hands up higher if you need a little more height. You have a prop there. You can do that. So you can stay right here, or you can let your head hang towards the floor. So I'm going to stay right here and talk. As your feet ground, your thighs are pressing back. So notice what's happening here for you. Relax your face, soften your eyes. Just be with what's happening right now. Be with the breath, with sensations in the body, and with whatever else arises. Now slightly bend the knees, take a few little steps in, press through the feet, and come up to standing. Close your eyes here. And take a moment to notice sensations in the feet, legs, hips, belly, hands, arms, shoulders, neck, face, your whole body. Now let's come back down to the floor. Come to sitting and bring the arms around the knees. So we'll lift the feet up and just balance here for a moment. And balance, finding the lift through the spine as you hold the knees in. Keep lifting upward. And then bring the feet down. And come to lying on your back. So just taking a moment here to stretch out on your back, bringing your legs down. Breathing into the belly. Exhaling, letting go, relaxing into the floor. Just allowing the whole body to feel heavy against the floor. And just noticing sensations in the body, noticing the breath, and noticing anything else that's floating through your field of awareness. Thoughts, feelings. Just allowing everything to flow through. Simply being right here. And then beginning to wake up your body, moving the fingers and the toes. Bend your knees. Rolling onto your side. Let's make our way up to sitting. Just take a moment to sit here. Close your eyes. Place your right palm on your heart center, right at the center of your chest, and then place your left palm on top of the right palm. Just take a moment here to feel the sensations of the hands over your chest. And just noticing and sensing gratitude for this morning and for taking this time today to connect to the present moment. And then opening your eyes. Namaste.